Now, something that I am not a fan of is putting fish into your aquarium when it's in full salinity. Now, this particular rabbit fish or foxface, when he was put into this aquarium a couple of months ago, he was assumably in perfect condition. He's come out of an aquarium shop which would have very likely had low salinity, and then put straight into this aquarium at a salinity of potentially around 0.026 is a very big jump. And when you jump your salinity, then the osmoregulation system of the fish has to work like crazy, and I find it really affects the immune system of the fish. And the main way that that will tend to show up is in pathogens like white spot, but sometimes it's other ways. Sometimes it might be swim bladder issues or any myriad of issues. In this case, the fish, maybe it didn't have white spot, maybe the white spot wasn't the problem, but because all of a sudden the high salt has shocked the fish into putting all of its energy into its osmoregulation system, and then that may have challenged the fish's immune system, and then this fish has had a lot of erosion in the tail, and its whole behavior is really quite interesting. So it's very hard for us to tell the results or the impacts of introducing a fish into high salinity, but it's definitely something I'm not a fan of. I really rather introduce the fish when the salinity is lower, and then I'll give it a good month before I think about introducing any more fish, or in a perfect world, we'd have a quarantine tank. So for future additions, this quarantine tank will be used, and that will be something I'm very happy about. And we ensure that the fish go into the quarantine tank at a low salinity. Then we can slowly raise the salinity to match the aquarium before the fish are introduced into the main aquarium. Anyway, if you have any comments on fish and salinity, make sure you put a little note down at the bottom of this video. But I really find that fish can handle going down in salinity, no worries, but they can't handle going up. If they go down in salinity, it means their osmoregulation system has to work less. That's the system that balances the salt in the body versus the environment. And if the osmoregulation system is working less, then the energy is available for all the other systems. If all of a sudden the osmoregulation system has to work really hard, then the balance of energy within the fish is totally whacked out. So whereas the energy should have had to go into all other systems, it's now emergency throwing it all in the osmoregulation system to stop the fish from dying from issues with osmoregulation from salt. And if you do have cleaner shrimp, the best thing you'll ever buy, but you don't want to go dropping your salt too severely with that, or you end up killing your cleaner shrimp. Hence the value of the quarantine tank. Introduce the fish into the quarantine tank, make sure the salinity is low, over a month or so, slowly increase it. When you're totally happy with the fish, you then can introduce it into the main tank, and then everyone's happy.